Thank you, Chairman Arrington and Ranking Member O'Rourke, for the opportunity to testify today before the Veterans Affairs Subcommittee on Economic Opportunity. I would like to first commend the work of this subcommittee in improving education, employment opportunities, and housing programs for veterans, as well as assisting service members with civil relief. I would also like to thank my colleague to my left, Mr. Whitman, who joins me today in testifying before the subcommittee in support of the Military Residency Choice Act. I know both he and I have the highest respect for military families and have focused our legislative efforts on supporting their cause. Military families make great sacrifices for the protection of our nation and the safeguarding of our freedom, and I feel it is my duty as a Congresswoman to help ease the burdens that they face. I proudly represent two of our nation's premier military installations, Fort Drum, home of the 10th Mountain Division, the most deployed unit in the U.S. Army since 9/11, and the Kesselring site, a Navy nuclear training facility. In addition, my home district, New York's 21st District, is home to more veterans than any other congressional district within the state. This has given me the opportunity to get to know the many military families within my district and grow familiar with the unique hardships and challenges they face. For instance, military families must relocate every few years due to their spouse's responsibility to meet the requirements of the military. They sacrifice a great deal during these relocations, uprooting their lives and disrupting their families, all while remaining committed to their duty as the spouse of a service member and serving as the critical support system for their loved ones. This is often a very difficult and challenging time, with the heaviest burden falling upon military spouses. I have introduced several bills that target the strain our military spouses face, especially during times of deployment and relocation. And today, I would like to highlight H.R. 282, the Military Residency Choice Act. Current law allows active duty service members to maintain one state of legal residence for tax and voting purposes, even when service members receive military orders requiring them to relocate. Under this law, spouses are only granted the same benefit if the service member and spouse have established the same tax residence at the time of their marriage. Essentially, this requires spouses to establish residency every time the service member receives orders with assignment to a new location, adding undue stress and anxiety to military families already under the pressure of managing their relocation. H.R. 282, the Military Residency Choice Act, will give military spouses the choice to establish the same state of residency as the service member, giving them the benefit of keeping the same state of residency for voting and tax purposes. Military spouses serve too, and this piece of legislation eliminates the daunting task of documenting multiple tax jurisdictions, which at times causes some spouses to forego the complication of working altogether. According to a recent study commissioned by the nonprofit group Blue Star Families, military spousal unemployment could cost the United States up to $1 billion a year in the loss of federal income tax, the cost of unemployment benefits, and the cost of health care issues related to unemployment. This common sense legislation will make this easier for military spouses to work and help reduce instances of military spousal unemployment. Through my constituents, I have listened to the sacrifices our military families make to keep our nation safe. We have a solemn duty to reduce the burden they face while they are fulfilling their duty to our nation. I want to thank Chairman Arrington and Ranking Member O'Rourke again for their leadership of this subcommittee and for the opportunity to speak today. I would now like to yield to my friend and colleague Rob Whitman from Virginia, who also deeply understands the sacrifices our military families make and has championed this issue.